Now, to enlighten us on these various aspects of security that I had already mentioned, are speakers. So we have two security experts in different fields of security who are going to be joining us today to enlighten us on these key areas I had mentioned, these three areas of security. And by these three areas, I mean car security, personal security, and facility security. So our first speaker is a gentleman from the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps. In fact, he is the public relations officer of the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, Akwa Ibom. And his name is Mr. Friday Ekerete. He's a seasoned security expert, and he's going to be taking us on the topic personal security and facility security. And our second speaker is also a private security expert. His name is Mr. Obinna Alfred, also seasoned in the area of security. And he's going to be taking us on his topic will be personal security and car security. So I'm going to be introducing them shortly to take us on their various topics. And I enjoin every one of us to be attentive, to follow them as the lecture comes along. And then if you look down, there is a question and answer icon on the app. All right, so you are expected to drop your questions on that icon. So just click on the icon, drop whatever questions that you think or that has arisen in the course of the lecture. At the end of the lecture, we're going to attend to them. We're going to give answers to those questions. So I'll be introducing our first speaker, if he has joined us, Mr. Friday Kerete, the Public Relations Officer of Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps. Mr. Friday, if you're with us, just say hi so that we can hear you. Hello. Has Mr. Friday joined us? Is he here with us? Hello.
No, he isn't. He isn't here yet.
Okay. So if he isn't here yet, we can start with the other topic. So if he isn't here yet, we can move to the next topic. We can move to the next topic, which is personal security and car security, which will be handled by Mr. Obinna Alfred. Is Mr. Obinna here with us yet?
No, he isn't. But we could start with the other presentation.
Okay. Our facilitators are yet to join us, so we're going to be going on a short commercial break, so that would ensure they will join us. So just a few minutes of commercial break, and we'll be right back. Thank you for your time. Hello. Thank you for your patience and thank you for staying tuned. So we're going to be moving straight to our first summit topic, which is personal security and facility security. To handle this topic is Mr. Friday Ekerete. Mr. Friday Ekerete is the Public Relations Officer of the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, Akwa Ibom State. Mr. Friday, if you're with us, say hi so that our audience can hear you.
Hello, listeners and viewers. A very good morning to you all.
Good morning to you, sir. All right, sir. You can commence, sir. The floor is all yours. Thank you.
All right. Once again, good morning to you. My name is Security Friday. I'm a Deputy Superintendent of Corps with the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps. I am the Public Relations Officer. And it's a pleasure to speak to you all from wherever you are joining up across the length and breadth of this country or the entire world, as the case may be. Before me, I'm to speak on personal and facility security. Start by giving in the introduction that the times we are in have changed considerably. If you compare the decade now to a decade ago or 2 decades ago, the kind of challenges we face is quite different. And so is the tactics with which security agents fight these challenges. And there's a saying we all agree to, that security is everyone's business. And first, you are responsible for your personal security, which is a part of what we'll be looking at today, personal and facility security. In my lecture notes, I refer to a time in our history as a people when sellers of commodities will just leave whatever they have to sell outside and denote the cost. And all people have to do is pick up this item, pay for the cost, and drop the cost on the floor. The owner comes back, picks his item, and goes. Voila, transaction has taken place without both parties seeing each other. I'm referring to back then, when before this time where you can buy without seeing the other person. That time there was a lot of trust. Security was not an issue, and people could transact as they wish, could go about their normal life. But now, even while staying beside your commodity, it can still be stolen away from you. You own a shop and you are right there in the shop trying to sell to somebody, you can still be robbed. Or the buyer can still pilfer one or two things from you. And so how do you secure your valuables, your commodities, your facility, yourself, first and foremost? And that happens to be, that gives you a background of the security situation we are in generally. Now, why do we have this downturn in security? The reasons are many. There's a very huge increase in unemployment statistics in the country. As a matter of fact, the statistics from the National Bureau of Statistics is very alarming. It portends danger, it portends doom. It only suggests that it can only get worse, except we have clear-cut policies and programs of government backed with sincerity and the willpower to change the status quo. Now, closely related to that is poverty. Poverty is pervasive, is widespread. The gap between the rich and the poor is widening on a daily basis. Corruption. We know how deadly corruption has been to this country. As a matter of fact, if you take corruption out of the Nigerian states, we should be competing favorably with our counterparts in the rest of the world as a country. We have poor government policies, weak judicial system, the judiciary is still the hope of the common man, but then it is no longer 100%. We've had instances where the highest bidder can get a favorable judgment, especially when it's against the weak, especially when it's against the poor. Justice can be easily served from the judiciary when it's the rich versus the rich. The law will take its normal course. But when it's the rich versus the poor, you no longer have guarantee that you have justice. You can have partial justice, but definitely not full justice. It's part of why we are where we are. We have porous borders. The country, basically, we share boundaries with Benin Republic to the west. We share boundaries with Cameroon, with Niger Republic, with Chad Republic as well. And we are not so far from the other countries that have problems. The Mali, Libya, these countries where we have a lot of terrorism taking place, ISWAP, Al-Shabaab and the rest. And it has made us a very porous country and make us susceptible to the kinds of security threats that hitherto did not exist, say 10, 15, 20 years ago. And those are some of the issues we have to deal with. They set a country back. For instance, when you look at states that contributed, say, 5 to 7, 10% of the country's agriculture, ravaged heavily by the activities of these people, what has that done to us? It has set the country back. It has contributed to poverty, it has contributed to unemployment, it has contributed to a host of other things. So that's one other system. Then we have poor security system. Poor security system, we are in an age where you need to complement human resources and technology if you want the best from our environment. Having said that, this I've given a background and I've highlighted the reasons why we are in such a terrible security situation, which all hands are currently on deck to minimize the effect. But when we have a problem, there has to be a solution. And there are some solutions to some of these problems. I talk about good governance. Now, if you have good governance built on integrity, accountability, and responsibility, and an understanding on the fact that officials of government, whether elected, appointed, or selected, including myself, have a responsibility and a duty to the people. We owe our allegiance to the people we serve. And if we recognize all of this and do our bit with every sense of responsibility and accountability, you can be sure that almost 50% of our problems, especially in the security angle, are solved. Okay, so next we talk about as one of the solutions, economic development. Higher unemployment rate, poverty can be solved when there is growth and development of the economy. If we have better managers of the economy, we can have this problem solved. We have elimination of corruption. When the problem is corruption, if you eliminate it, it definitely solves the problem. Improve border security. Our borders are porous. If we empower the lead agency in border security, which is the immigration service, the customs service, the police, and others, and back them with requisite technology. The number of personnel you need to man our borders, that's a number that the government cannot afford to maintain. But with technology and right training for a few people, you can man hundreds and thousands of kilometers of our border space. Okay, so that's improved border security. Then you can acquiring security fighting tracking equipment. This still takes us back to technology, and that's why I must give commendation to as I call for this wonderful seminar. Then education. The importance of education cannot be overemphasized. Never. The man or that has been deceived by a leader to take up arms against the state may not have done so if he was duly educated, may not. Doesn't mean 100% will not have. But the chances that one can reason for oneself is higher when one is educated. So when we have education, we push out the right kind of information to the people, make them see the disadvantages in whatever, in vices, and help them to embrace virtues. Then we are partly on our way to solving the problems created by lack of education. That's part of the solutions to the current security situation we are in as a country. Now let's look at facility security. Start by saying, if you have a massive building, a facility, and there's nothing of value there, you do not have reason to provide security, technology, or personnel. Anytime a place is secured, there's something of value there. Something of value could be humans. You all know that there's a lot of premium value placed on expatriates. Say, for instance, an American working in a state, say like Akwa Ibom. I've been to Mobile a couple of times. We have relations with them in the line of our duty since we give protection to oil pipelines and critical infrastructure. They place premium. The kind of premium they place on a staff is almost equivalent to the premium we place on, say, a governor. And of course, you all agree with me that the premium play, the value placed on a life of a governor, you can see that from the quantity, the amount of security provided around him, just to keep one man and his immediate family safe. You don't have that, I don't have that. So that is the kind of value placed on these people. So basically, in protecting a facility, protect the personnel there, the equipment there, the facilities there, the information. We are in an information age, and if the right information gets in the wrong hand, it can be so devastating, so devastating. So when you talk about facility security, we're looking at the protection of facility itself, the equipment, the facilities within the facility, the people, the human resource, which is the highest valuable resource one can have, because a facility can go down in flames or in destruction, but the humans can still build that back. But when an egghead is lost, for instance, you've lost something of value. So basically, talk about facility security. And then one critical thing about securing a facility is access control, which is a system that determines who goes in and goes out of a facility. Where can such a person go to? Let me use a bank as an instance. It's a free-for-all place. Anybody can enter the premises of a bank. But after entering through the gates, where else can you go within the banking premise? As a customer, you can enter the banking hall. You can enter some offices. Certain places are restricted. Even staff, like where the vault is, haven't entered that facility, a banking hall or a banking premise. Can you go close to where the vault is? Can you go close to where a bullion van is parked? Can you go to certain offices? The IT, the records. What are you doing there as a normal person? So in securing a facility, you must have a very good access control system in place. And basically what access control does is to grant access to authorized and authenticated persons to enter certain places within a facility. Okay, so I said here, when you have control over who enters your facility and where they enter, you've done a whole lot in securing your facility. Okay, so by putting in place authentication and authorization system, access to a facility or system will be granted only to persons with authorization. Access control can be conducted by personnel who physically screen people, or by setting up system that grants access to people with authorization codes or cards or mixture of both, which is people and technology. That's basically what I've explained. You come up with a system a working system. And now in the age we live in, we have no choice. We have no choice than to embrace technology if you want the best. Humans can help you regulate access control, but then when you deploy technology as well, you get better value. You achieve optimum performance. Okay, that's access and access control. So how do you secure a facility? How to secure a facility? So in facility security, it is important to pay attention to the building, to pay attention to spaces within the building, and to pay attention to the information contained within that building. And how do you, in paying attention to this and securing them, you need to control the access. The building, first, a place of value, you should have perimeter fencing. If possible, you can put back wire or electronic fence so that you can control access to only the places you have provided, which is either the main gates, subsidiary gates, or other gates are usually for other kinds of situations, as the case may be. In the case of a bank, you can have another entry point for bullion vans, bringing in the money. When you hold money, that's something of high value that criminals may be interested in, not just the pilferers or the small criminals, the armed criminals who are not deterred by the fact that there's even a security person available, because there are levels to criminals and criminalities. Okay, so you provide the basics that keeps the environment safe first and foremost, and restrict access to only where you want a controlled access. That's why you have to pay attention to the building, the spaces after entering the building. Take for instance a mall. Where can people go? Where can people not go? This can be denoted by only authorized persons can enter here, or you place modes. Technology still comes to play here. A card or a thumbprint can give you access to a particular places within the building. So you look into the spaces you have and determine who goes there and not, and by what means can they go there. Okay, including places like parking lots. It's very important. All right, so then information protection. Now we live in the jet age, in the information age, where information is everything. You have no idea how much the advanced countries, let me use the permanent members of the Security Council of the United Nations. You have no idea how much they spend to secure their top information from activities of espionage. So information is everything. It keeps the competitor ahead of his rival. Okay, so information is just everything. The moment you lose it, your rivals can use it against you, and then you can crumble in a space of minutes or seconds, as it were. So other things to pay attention to in facility security, especially on how to secure a facility, is providing a good lighting system. Now, crime can take place at any time in the day, but it usually takes place at night as well. If you install a CCTV, how does your CCTV work very well if you've not put in a good lighting system? So we have CCTV cameras that are infrared and can do others, but you can make it easy. The entire country is not that advanced, so lighting, providing a good lighting, it could be solar powered or generator powered or from the main power source that we have. Use video surveillance camera, which is CCTV. Use integrated alarm system. What system? As part of the security system, have a system that when there's an unauthorized entry, that is used. The easy example is cars. When you certain people touch certain cars, it sends out a signal, an alarm. So that's part of secure. That's a valuable a car. It gives you who is trying to break into that car. Then whoever you are can then come out tactically, peep as well at first, look at who is close by in case there are lurking dangers around. Okay, so an alarm system, it's very, very good to check breaking and unauthorized entry. Then there's also the need to conduct regular audits to identify potential threats. It's an ever-changing thing. Nothing is static. We live in a very dynamic world. The solution that worked for someone 5 years ago may not work today. The one that worked today, tomorrow may go obsolete. The way security agencies are not sitting down, the criminals are not also sitting down. Okay, they are looking for ways to beat the system. All right, so there's always need to constantly review the whatever system you have in place. Make provision for security countermeasures. In a case that we have breach, to make provision for countermeasures. Does it send a signal to a police station? Does it send a signal to somewhere else that mobilizes people immediately to respond? Okay, so these are basic tips on how to secure a facility and have good value in providing such. Okay, so next I talked about personal security. My time is I'm approaching the end of I think I have about 10 minutes. Are you following, Mr. Emeka?
I'm with you, sir.
All right, thank you very much. Yes,
go ahead.
I need to get the feedback that I'm still on and
yes,
good.
Yes, you are.
All right, thank you. I haven't talked about facility security. Let me delve a little into personal security. Actually, you cannot divorce both. Like I mentioned earlier while speaking, in protecting a facility, you also protect the humans in that place. Human resource is a very valuable resource to any organization. Okay, you protect the information stored there, you protect the equipment and every other thing. So personal security. Now, first, in looking at personal security, let's look at what is security in this sense. And security basically is a state of being free from all dangers and harm at home, school, road, or anywhere you are. Basically, security means a state of feeling safe. When you say, there's good security here, that means that place is safe. This area is well secured. That means people who stay there are safe. Whatever you have there is safe. If you park a car there, it's safe. You kept a generator, is safe. That's because they are either people who have the role or the mandate to ensure that things are done properly, because when things are done properly, everything also goes properly. Or they are also technology deployed, manned by people. People will always be important. Manned by people, technology deployed to check illicit acts. Okay, so when all of these systems are well in place, we can then talk of the fact that there's security there, and security, as we have defined, is a state of being free from dangers or harm in your home, in your workplace, in the road, or wherever you may be. Okay, so personal security is a general condition that occurs after adequate efforts are taken to deter, delay, and provide warning before possible crime. Such warning occurs to summon assistance and prepare for possibility of crime in a constructive manner. We've talked about security being a state of feeling safe, and then we are saying personal security is a situation where adequate measures have been put in place to forestall possible breach, breakdown of law, theft, or any kind of security breach. When you have a very good system in place, okay, you can say that there is personal security can be ensured or guaranteed to a very large extent. Now, I cannot divorce most of these things to when we talk about describe our security situation and the causes like poverty, like unemployment, unemployment. If some of these people have jobs to do, it's a likelihood that some of them will not be in crime. And it also goes back to good governance, creating a good society we can all be proud of, because it is in the interest of all of us that we have a good society. Okay, so you cannot at any point divorce one from the other. So when adequate measures have been put in place, including having people who buy into your idea and having warning systems of responding, then we can talk of having a very good personal security in place. So personal security aims to protect people from physical violence, domestic violence, from predatory adults The concept of personal security involves protection from personal harm. Of course, it could also be in the home. Okay? And then you have a threat, say from a spouse, a visitor, a neighbor. Personal security also means a system where you can also defend yourself. And some of these measures, when you look at whole content of it, you say, if such warning occurs, so someone assistance and prepare for possibility. Say, for instance, a home now, an underage is under threat of a predator, say rape, for instance. A system, say, for instance, an alarm system, wherein if you can, once you have access to pressing it, it sends out signal and you could summon people to help you. We talk about countermeasures. You detect a crime or potential of a crime taking place, and you activate certain measures that have been put in place. Now, some of these measures have to be technological. Okay, so that is personal security, and what it's all about is a state of being free from harm, from any form of breach of security, instead of being totally safe. Now, I gave some personal security tips here. Personal security tips. Just run through some of them since I do not have much time. We'll almost wrap it up. I'll take questions afterwards. One, avoid suspicious or dangerous areas at night, or at least have company while crossing such areas. These are very simple. These are plain. You suspect that this place, follow your instincts. Very key. Follow your instincts. You suspect, oh, or this place is a noted flashpoint. Just try as much as possible to avoid such places. Walk with your keys in your hand whenever you cross suspicious area, neighborhood during the night. The keys can be handy. If you are holding your house key, car key, whatever, hold it in your hand. If you suspect anything, a key is a massive weapon. You are defending yourself in the case of self-defense, which is part of what we learn and also do as well. In the case of self-defense, and you punch someone, the punch you give to someone, say in the chest, will not have the same impact as if when you use a key. The key is more like stabbing the person. It inflicts a higher injury, a higher damage that will take the person, that the person will be taken aback. Okay, so that's the place of a key, and these are useful tips for personal security. Keep your car doors locked at all times. You enter your car, get it locked. It has saved quite a number of people. If you follow skits and all these short videos, you see instances where people try to break in, and because the car was locked, as they tried to open, they couldn't penetrate, and thus that is a halt to that particular breach or crime from being committed. You can then zoom off. Okay, always keep your family and friends informed whenever you travel. Write them text messages, send photos, or call them so they know you are all right at all times. This is a basic principle as well. Let's cast our mind back to the case of a newborn Moran, the lady who was murdered in cold blood, the graduate of philosophy from University of Rio, was murdered sometime late last year, I guess. Yes, last year, in cold blood. The only way it was easy for the police to track down and get justice, the case is currently in court, almost at the deciding point in court, was because she was able to send out one or two messages to her closest friend, who then raised an alarm. If that did not happen, you have to start looking for leads, and you have no idea how difficult it is to get leads here. So you can help by providing a lead by just telling someone where you are going to. So this is a very basic thing. Always keep your families aware. Be aware of all exit routes in an office, in a cinema, in a hall. Wherever you go to a place, be conscious of exit points. Just this security consciousness means just have it at the back of your mind that if something happens, what do? How do you escape? Is this place fenced? Does it have back wire? Where else can you run to? Okay, these are just basic security things that can help in personal security. Don't work with earbuds. Don't work with earbuds. Okay. Now, some people are fond of while moving, they have earpiece strapped to both of their ears, and then you no longer you've lost control of your environment. The car is driving at a speed you can't tell. Someone is whispering, somebody giving signal, you cannot tell. No, these are bad ideas of how to move. My time is almost up. I'll just write off. So basically, be alert and aware, display confidence, walk with shoulder up. There are times I've been in awkward places. All I just do is I act like the bad boy as well. I walk with confidence. I raise my shoulder up. I also form. You create the impression that you are equal to the task as well. So basically, in all of this, let me talk about smart solution, the last part of my topic, and I'll wrap up in 60 seconds. And I said, we live in a very smart world driven by technology. Embracing technology can appear expensive at first to install most of these things, but in the long run, it is cheaper. You have rest of mind, and technology is so advanced, you have no idea. All you just have to do is walk into a technology arena like A6, CGNL, and speak to them on your needs, and you will be wowed at how you can take control of your life, take control of your facilities, take control of yourself, even from the comfort of your phone. Track your children, track your cars, track what's happening in your environment, track what's happening in your streets, track what's happening in your company. In fact, it's so advanced nowadays that we also have systems that harness the potentials of artificial intelligence to get these things done. So basically, embracing technology and having the right human resource to manage these things can help you achieve the best in terms of personal and facility security. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ikerete. You've done justice to this two topics. So we're going to move to the question and answer session. Okay. We have some questions for you, and I'll take the first question. Okay, sir. Someone is asking, in this era of attack or attacks on churches or church facilities. Okay, how can one secure a church facility, or how can one who is probably a church attendant, secure his life while within those while within the church facility? Of course, we've heard incidences of ambushes on churches, sporadic shootings and all that. So one who is in that kind of situation, or maybe finds himself in that kind of place, what could the person do to secure his or her life? And what can the church also do to prevent such occurrences?
All right, thank you very much. It starts from church. There has to be a church before people can come, a church premise before people can come to worship. The church must take the first step at providing a place that is safe for people. And that is, you must have, for the case of a church, you need to have multiple entry and exit points. Multiple entry and exit points, both into the entire premise as a whole, and then into the church itself. For instance, you come into the church. That's the church building itself, the cathedral. Let's use that, and we have, say, depending on the size, we have, say, 6 entry and exit points, 8, 10, or whatever the number. In the event that there is an attack, first, if it's a case of shooting, the first thing to do is to go down. You go down in 3 to 5 seconds. You put yourself together and try to find out where possibly the shooting is coming from. Okay, and then try to crawl to the nearest exit points, and then from there one can help oneself to escape. That's looking at a place where there's say for instance an attack now. Okay, so you try to crawl to somewhere where you can escape from. But if there are no multiple entry and exit points, say for instance there's just one entry point and one exit point, that becomes very difficult for one to even secure oneself in such an instance where there's an attack. Okay, and that is one part that where the church and the must put some of these things in place. I've also talked partly about the individuals, the worshippers. Now, in case you come under attack, you go down and try as quick as possible to crawl. If you see space to run out, you keep your head down while running. Now, someone holding a pistol or a rifle and is shooting does not have more than 50% chance of hitting his target. So there is this, you take a run for it. 50-50. You crawling can delay. Maybe while crawling, they can get up to where you are. But if you see a little chance, you keep your head low and then run. The chairs usually in the church are to a certain level. If you can keep your head relatively low to almost to that level, and then take a run for it. I'm giving a scenario where it has actually happened now, and what one can actually do, and take a run for it, because once you get outside, and then still keep your head low, because they may have 1 or 2 people somewhere else as well. So that's basically how to handle a situation in a church. We need to have multiple entry and exit points, and then when an incident happens, you go down, try to understand what has happened, and then move and take a run for it once you see the chance.
All right, sir. Thank you so much for that answer. It's been very enlightening. We're very grateful for that. We can't take more questions because of our time. Thank you, sir, for doing justice to the topic personal and facility security. The speaker has talked extensively on this particular topic, and ACGNL as a company also comes in. We have some gadgets and facilities that can also help you ensure the safety of your facility and also even your personal security. Take, for instance, our CCTV surveillance system. The ACGNL CCTV surveillance system can also help you secure your facility. It has features like remote access. Our surveillance system can also give you remote access. So what I mean by remote access is being able to access your facility from whatever part of the world where you are through any device, any electronic device of your choice, provided that there is an internet connection. That's one peculiar feature of our CCTV surveillance system. And then we can also provide spy cameras also. What are these spy cameras? Cameras that are disguised, that don't look like cameras, especially in situations where you wouldn't want people to know that there is a camera present in such a place. It has helped a lot of people, avert or deal with certain security challenges to facilities. And then we also have a product for parents who wish to secure the lives of their children, especially when they are at school or they are away from them. So we have the child tracker. Some of the features of this child tracker is the ability to pinpoint the location of your child. So through a mobile device, you're able to find the exact location of your child. It also has the ability to record the surrounding audio around your child. It can even send an SOS to a parent or guardian. Another feature is it's only approved contact that can control this particular device. So there are a whole lot we can offer in these areas. So we enjoin you to also take advantage of this. So it's not enough to talk about the security challenges and also some of the solutions. Taking a step to actually get smart, because the topic is present day threats and smart solutions. There are a lot of smart solutions in this age that can help you, avert some of the security threats or security issues you may have. So some of these smart solutions some of these things I've already mentioned. So thank you very much for joining us for this particular session. We'll be going into our second session shortly, but before we go into our second session, we'll go on a commercial break. By the time we're back, we also expect that you will join us. Thank you so much for your time, and we'll be back shortly.
As a mother of two beautiful angels, I understand how every mom feels each time our kids leave the house, especially with the alarming rate of child kidnapping these days. That's why I jumped on this solution that helps me ensure the safety of my kids, the child tracking device. It's a tiny device attached to my kids that helps me monitor their location. To use the child tracker, I call the registered number on the tracker. A message with a link is sent to me. When I click the link, I am redirected to the Google map. Then I get to check the location of my kids on the map. If I notice that my kids are in a strange location, I call the police immediately. Now, I can be assured of the safety of my kids. To protect your child, get a child tracker today. Call 080-6733-6449 to place your order. Or visit us at number 104 Oron Road, Uyo. You can visit our website at www.a6journal.com. As a mother of two beautiful angels, I understand how every mom feels each time our kids leave the house, especially with the alarming rate of child kidnapping these days. That's why I jumped on this solution that helps me ensure the safety of my kids, the child tracking device. It's a tiny device attached to my kids that helps me monitor their location. To use the child tracker, I call the registered number on the tracker. A message with a link is sent to me. When I click the link, I am redirected to the Google map. Then I get to check the location of my kids on the map. If I notice that my kids are in a strange location, I call the police immediately. Now, I can be assured of the safety of my kids. To protect your child, get a child tracker today. Call 080-6733-6449 to place your order, or visit us at number 104 Oron Road, Uyo. You can visit our website at www.a6journal.com.
Okay, hello and welcome to the second session. I hope you had a swell time in the first session. I'm still your host, Emeka Iheka. We're going to move on to the next session, which is personal and car security. And to handle this session, this particular topic, is Mr. Obinna Alfred. Mr. Obinna Alfred is a seasoned security expert. He's a private security expert, and he'll be taking us on this topic. Mr. Obinna, are you with us? Please say hi so that our audience can hear you. Hello? Is Mr. Obinna with us? Mr. Obinna, if you're with us, you can unmute your mic so that we can hear you.
Okay, good. I was really finding it difficult to hear myself. Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, I can. I can hear you loud and clear.
Oh, that's good. Am I on?
Hello? Yeah, you are on, sir. You are on.
Okay, good morning, Barrister Emeka and my
Morning,
wonderful
sir.
audience.
Good morning, sir. Over to you,
Thank
sir.
you, Mr. Alfred. Thank you very much, sir. The topic is personal and car security. The first speaker, Mr. Friday Kerete, really did a good job on personal security and facility security. I think he really exhausted most of my points. Hello.
Yes, we're with you, sir. We're with you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. We can all hear you.
Okay. So I'll just really break it down. I'll just really break it down for us to understand some tips on personal security, the threats that emanate from personal security, and the countermeasures as well. By defining personal security, this refers to all measures designed to protect a person from threats to his life, position, status, reputation, in order to give him psychological, social, moral, and intellectual stability to perform his duties efficiently. In essence, personal security encompasses the person, his family, and his environment. This refers that all your dealings as a person, measures you put in check to protect yourself from harm. Harm can come in form of different threats. It can come as a form of crime, robbery, assassination, kidnapping, murder, rape, arson. So you are looking at ways to protect yourself from these form of threats, which are prevalent in our modern society. So personal security is key for every individual right now in Nigeria because of the dynamic nature of our security threats. We're having skyrocketing threats of kidnapping, oil bunkering, arson, robbery, burglary, assassination. So you're looking at ways to protect yourself from these threats. Okay, let me go into the kind of threats that may occur. We have self-influenced threats. These are threats, one, gets from his or her lifestyle. His or her lifestyle can cause this kind of self-influenced threats. For example, one is flippant about his or her activities. You tell the whole world where you're going to. Tell the whole world how much you are making. You're on social media every day telling the whole world that you've made millions of naira from a deal. Flippancy, dubious business relationship, lifestyle, ostentatious lifestyles can also cause this form of threat. And lately, this is really prevalent with our generation. People are always on the internet trying to upload how good or how well they are doing in life. And this can be a high risk to one's personal security. I have 30 minutes, so I'll try to rush through some of the threats one can have that can affect one's personal security. We have lack of security consciousness or education. People are not eager to learn. Some people are just trying to work with what they think is the right thing and is wrong. There are security experts around. We can consult them for you to know the tips, the basic tips techniques and advice. For example, there is free tips on our local channels on what to do when you see any unfamiliar face within your neighborhood. We can tell people go around and see many people who are not from their neighborhood and they don't even create or make an alert on that. That can be a risk, a high risk to your personal security. So advice for one to always seek security rules, seek expert advice on how to live. Then also self-induced threats, form of human weakness, ostentatious lifestyle, being loud about your activities. Then ill treatment of your personal staff. For those that have cook, you have a personal driver, you have a bodyguard at home. We advise that you need to treat them well because these people know your movement in and out. We advise these people know your movement in and out. They know lifestyle, and each time you make them unhappy with your activity, they can easily tell people about your movement, tell people about your activities, and that can lead you to serious harm. So we advise that one should really avoid having a bad treatment to their personal staff. This can really affect their personal security. We'll look at non-observance and compliance with security rules and ethics. Due to lack of security consciousness and education, highly placed individuals do not observe security rules, regulations, and ethics, and these account for incessant or frequent cases of assassination, kidnapping, and abduction. A case scenario is the death of Bola Ige. Bola Ige, we know the Bola Ige, the Lagos business mogul that was killed in his home. What happened because of his kind of lifestyle and how he treated his domestic staff? This is really a serious threat to one's personal security. We advise the fastest way for one to be harmed is when you fail to treat your personal staff, your cook, your driver, your security guard, your bodyguards well. When you take care of them, they are the fastest link to hostile elements to harm you. So always treat your domestic staff better. In personal security, you need to look at ways to checkmate the safety of your family, your loved ones, and your neighbor. Instruct family members never to admit strangers into the home. Verify the identity of persons through peepholes. Some doors have peepholes at home. Before you open your door, try to look through the peephole to see who is coming, whether he is a friendly or a hostile element. So advise, tell your family members always to look through the peephole before you let someone into your home. Teach family members how to answer telephone so that they do not give out personal information. These are personal security tips at home for the family. And we also advise residential security is a critical component of any personal security program. All entrances, including service doors and gates, should have quality locks. It's all about access control. Mr. Friday really spent time on access control measures. It's very, very key. You don't allow any unwanted person into your home without proper vetting or proper check of the person if he or she is meant to be allowed into your home. And don't leave keys hidden outside the home. Instead, leave an extra key with a trusted colleague or neighbor. We advise people not to leave their extra keys outside the home because someone can easily pick up these keys and gain access into your home. So we advise for residential home security, one should not leave his or her personal keys outside. Avoid isolated houses that can expose you to threats of an assailant. Having proper perimeter fencing. We advise people should not rent apartments without proper perimeter fencing. This can really checkmate activities of hoodlums or house burglars. When you have a proper perimeter fencing, it deters criminals from gaining access into your house. So another way for proper personal security is to make sure that your home has a proper perimeter fencing. It's key. Also have fire extinguishers at home in case of fire incidents. I think many people fail under this category for not having fire extinguishers at home. There have been cases of fire incidents that at the incipient stage, if one had a fire extinguisher at home, would have saved properties from getting burnt. We advise that it is important to have fire extinguishers at home to avoid any fire incidents. Security for people when they are leaving their home. If we are going on a holiday, what you should do. Always ensure that you close and lock all windows and doors. It's very, very key. Lock all your windows and doors. This will help you prevent any burglary incidents. So perimeter lighting is key. Outside the lighting systems at home is important. One has a proper lighting system for proper illumination when you are traveling, for your personal security and for your properties being safe when you are leaving your premises. It's important one keeps his or her lighting systems turned on when traveling. We are also advised that when you're traveling, try to wear casual dresses to avoid being spotted along the way by car hijackers or criminal elements. So you need to not be loud. You need to not appear very, very ostentatious, very wealthy. You need to wear casual outfits to reduce the threats from all these criminal elements along the major roads. So we advise reduce excess jewelries, reduce carrying cash in your pocket when traveling. This will help reduce any form of attack on oneself when traveling on a far distant journey. Then in hotels, there are security tips in hotels. Discuss the travel plans and movements during your stay with few people as possible. When you're traveling to any place, try and indulge someone to have an idea of where you're going to. And like example, what Mr. Friday said about the gruesome murder of Bongo Moren, it is quite a sad one. But the take home is this: she told someone about her location. That is key. We advise always tell people where you're going to. And if she had this personal security tips that when you're going in a place for an interview, the place should be a well-known location and also an open place. But she failed to hit to these security tips and she ran into the wrong hands. So it's such a very sad incident which could have been avoided. So we advise always visit people at open places, at known locations, and share your location with people at all times if you're not sure of where you're going to. These are very basic personal security tips we tell people that need to adhere to this to avoid falling victims to these assailants we have. Then the use of technology is key in this modern world. Technology is key because the world is a global village right now. Also advise people to acquire A6GNL technical products such as the child tracker is key. Security of kids in schools is very important. We know what's happening in the US. This shooting massacre in public schools, it can be avoided. It can be worked on. There are solutions to all this. The use of technology is paramount in this school, where you have a security gadget to search anyone coming into schools with metals. There are metal detectors that can be placed in institutions to checkmate these criminal elements coming into schools with firearms. So we advise that child tracker can also help you to know the location of your kids at school, to know where they are, to also know the activity they are being indulged in, which can help parents to keep a key touch on their kids to know what they are doing and to keep hands on all the activities. This, I think I don't have much time, but I'm trying to find a way to go through personal security tips in school, at home, and the kind of lifestyle that we indulge in. These are ways that can throw someone open to attacks. So I believe that there is need for one to acquire education on personal security tips, on how to have the consciousness to guarantee your security both at home, in your workplace, within your neighborhood, and the security for your kids in school. So we advise the use of technology is key in one's activities to enhance proper security. I think that's where I can draw a curtain on personal security. Is important for all of us. Let me now rush through car security. Car security is very, very important because of how expensive our cars are. The fact that the dollar to naira exchange rate is alarming. It's so alarming. Security is important because it's going to be a hard one when one loses his or her car to assailants. So we advise always ensure to lock your cars, keep your car keys to yourself. Don't keep car keys exposed to outsiders or people who are not meant to have access to your keys. There have been cases within Uyo Metropolis over car theft. There's like more than 10 cases within the months of October, September, August. More than 10 cases of car theft, which could have been prevented if they had car tracking device installed in their cars. The ACGNL smart car vehicle device is very, very key. It's key in the sense that it provides on the spot location of where your car is. And we advise when an assailant comes to attack you over your car and the person is armed, please don't fight back. Don't try to be stubborn over it. Allow the person to go with the car. Your life is more important than losing your vehicle. So we advise in car security, never ever try to fight off an armed assailant that can injure you or endanger your life. So please, my audience, never ever try to fight someone who is armed over your vehicle. What you should do is to install a smart vehicle tracking device. An ACGNL tracking device is key because it has the presence of a GPS navigator that can track the exact location of the vehicle. It has a remote monitoring via your mobile phone. The device works as long as the car works, especially for wired version of the tracker. The device can come with a two-way audio system, which means you can speak and hear conversation in and out of the car through your phone. You also have an automatic notification intelligence on suspected tamper. That means when there's an unauthorized entrance into your vehicle, the smart tracking device will alert you on your mobile phone through a text message that your car is being tampered upon. Also, this smart vehicle tracking device also allows you to have access to real-time pictorial evidence of where your car is. So we advise that in car security, ensure you have a smart vehicle tracking device installed, and ACGNL tracking device is the best for you. Also, try to park your vehicles in well-illuminated areas, well-lighted areas. In parking lots, let it be in a well-exposed area where you can have a view of where your car is parked. Don't park your vehicles in a dark area because you can be harmed by assailants when they want to hijack your vehicle. So we advise always park your vehicles at properly lighted environments. Don't leave valuable items inside your vehicle. We advise leave valuable items inside the trunk of your car. It's the safest place to hide items that are valuable to you. Always hide your valuable items inside the trunk of your vehicle. That's the boot of your vehicle. So items that are left inside the vehicle can be tampered upon because the car windows, the car glasses can be easily shattered by assailants. So it's advised always store your valuables inside your car trunk. That's the safest spot of your car. At this juncture, I will say that the use of technology is paramount in our personal and car security. Our homes can be installed with CCTV, which is closed circuit television systems, where you can monitor activities happening inside and outside your environment of your home. And ACGNL have a very wonderful and unique CCTVs that can give you on the spot real-time images of your environment and of your homes. So the use of technology is key, which can help you know when someone wants to attack your premises. You can easily alert any nearby police formation for possible arrest of the assailant. Thank you very much, my audience. I will come to an end with these few points because my time is already up. The use of technology is key in this modern world. We need to try to apply technology when it's important in our homes and also in our vehicles to deter and to detect crimes. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Obinna Alfred.
Vice Emeka, are you there?
Yes, I am here, sir. Can you hear me? Hello? Thank you so much, Mr. Obinna. Thank you so much for doing justice to that topic. You know, we're very grateful, and we'll be moving to the next session to the next session rather, which is our question and answer session. So we'll be welcoming questions and answers. We'll be welcoming questions which Mr. Obinna is going to be answering. Mr. Obinna, are you still with us? Hello, Mr. Obinna, are you with us? Yes, are you with us? Mr. Obinna, if you're with us, we have a question here. If you can hear me clearly, we have a question. And the question is simple. What happens when let's say a car has no car tracker in it, and of course some hoodlums had succeeded in snatching the vehicle? So what does the owner of such vehicle do? What was the first response or the first thing an owner of a vehicle that has been snatched, what is he expected to do? Let's say it's in a circumstance where the car doesn't have any tracker at all. What would the person do? What is expected of that? What's the first expectation from that person at such point in time? Hello, did you hear my question, sir? Hello, Mr. Obinna. I think we lost him. Hello, Mr. Obinna, are you there? Are you there? Okay, I think maybe he has some network difficulties. But can we all hear me? Oh. Okay, while we wait for Mr. Obinna to connect back, we'll be moving to the next activity, which is our summit special. We're moving to our next activity, which is our summit special. Now under this activity, we're going to be throwing questions to the audience. So this particular session is for our audience. You answer a question correctly and stand the chance to win a car tracker. So I'm going to be throwing the question out there, and then the first person to give us the appropriate response will win the car tracker. Now, this answer is expected to be posted on the Q&A icon on the app. So you open the Q&A icon on the app, and then you type in your answers to this question. So if we're ready, I'm ready. Okay, here goes the question. We all ready? So let me give it some seconds so nobody will feel cheated. Are we ready? Okay, Mr. Obinna talked about the ACGNL car tracker. So the question is, mention 2 key features of the ACGNL car tracker as talked about by Mr. Obinna. 2 key features of the ACGNL car tracker. That's the question. So the first person to type the question correctly would stand the chance to win a car tracker from ACGNL. So type in your answers on the Q&A session of the app, and then we'll take it from there. Okay, Mr. Obinna, are you back? Are you with us? Okay, I think we lost him. Okay, so I'm going to give up to 1 minute for us to answer the question correctly. Once more, the question is, what are the 2 key features of the ACGNL car tracker as talked about by Mr. Obinna? Our last speaker, he talked about the ACGNL car tracker as one of the ways we can mitigate, the security threats to your car. So what are the 2 key features of that car tracker? So the person that gets the answer correctly stands a chance to win. All right. Thank you all for joining the summit. We're most grateful. And to our speakers, Mr. Friday Ekerete of the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps. Once more, we're grateful. Thank you for joining us. And to Mr. Obinna Alfred, we're also grateful. Thank you for your time. And to our lovely audience who had taken out time from their busy schedules to join this webinar, we're most grateful. Thank you for joining us. And we hope you learned a lot of valuable lessons from the various topics we talked about. And then we hope that you would implement whatever you have learned in your daily lives. Thank you so much for your time. And then we have our social media channels. We're on Instagram, we're on Facebook, we're on LinkedIn. So just search ACGNL on any of these social media platforms, and then you would see our handles. You're free to join us. You're free to like our pages. Thank you for your time. I don't know if Mr. Obinna has joined us so that he can take the question, but in the absence of that, we'll bring the webinar to a close at this point. Thank you so much for joining. God bless you all.
As a mother of two beautiful angels, I understand how every mom feels each time our kids leave the house, especially with the alarming rate of child kidnapping these days. That's why I jumped on this solution that helps me ensure the safety of my kids, the child tracking device. It's a tiny device attached to my kids that helps me monitor their location. To use the child tracker, I call the registered number on the tracker. A message with a link is sent to me. When I click the link, I am redirected to the Google map. Then I get to check the location of my kids on the map. If I notice that my kids are in a strange location, I call the police immediately. Now, I can be assured of the safety of my kids. To protect your child, get a child tracker today. Call 080-6733-6449 to place your order, or visit us at number 104 Oron Road, Uyo. You can visit our website at www.a6journal.com.